In the unfolding saga of the Sean Diddy Combs federal trial, every day seems to bring a new layer of shocking revelations. But day 19 felt different. It wasn't just about accusations being hurled across the courtroom, it was about a judge's stern warning echoing through the proceedings and a witness, hidden behind the pseudonym Jane, bravely outlining allegations that paint a disturbing picture of coercion and exploitation within the music mogul's inner circle. Forget the glitz and glamour for a moment, because what transpired in that courtroom on Thursday was raw, intense, and potentially game-changing for the entire case. We've heard whispers, we've seen headlines, but day 19 brought us face-to-face with the human cost of the accusations against Sean Diddy Combs. At the center of it all was Jane, a woman whose testimony is crucial to the prosecution's attempt to demonstrate a pattern of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and the transportation of individuals for prostitution. The prosecution is meticulously building a case that suggests Combs and his close associates used a terrifying combination of violence, lies, drugs, and financial leverage to manipulate women like Jane and Cassie Ventura into participating in what were chillingly referred to as HotelNights, or freak-offs, drug-fueled sexual encounters orchestrated with male escorts. While Combs has vehemently pleaded not guilty to these grave charges, his defense team has acknowledged his history of violence but has fiercely questioned the motivations of the individuals who have taken the stand to testify. They've even suggested that the women involved consented to the sexual activities they now describe as coercive. It's a classic courtroom battle of narratives, and on day 19th, Jane stepped into the arena, ready to share her truth, a truth that promises to unfold over several days of intense testimony. But before Jane even began to recount her experiences, the courtroom drama reached a boiling point. After the jury had been dismissed for a lunch break, Judge Arun Subramanian, who has presided over this trial with remarkable patience, issued a sharp rebuke directly to Sean Diddy Combs. The reason? Allegations that Combs had been attempting to influence the jury through gestures during the previous testimony of Brianna Bongolan. Imagine the scene. The judge, his voice firm, addressing the defense, making it crystal clear that Combs's alleged actions, repeatedly looking at the jury and nodding vigorously, were absolutely unacceptable. Judge Subramanian emphasized that he had already warned the defense against any such interactions, and his patience appeared to be wearing thin. Intriguing. Question number 1. What exactly was Combs trying to communicate to the jury with these nods? Was it an attempt to convey agreement, disbelief, or something else entirely? And what does this behavior suggest about his demeanor and strategy during the trial? The judge didn't mince words, stating that if such behavior were to continue, he would not hesitate to consider severe measures, including potentially excluding Combs from the courtroom altogether. This is a significant threat, as a defendant in a federal criminal trial has a fundamental right to face their accusers. However, as legal experts have pointed out, this right can be revoked in cases of disruptive behavior. The very notion of Combs being barred from his own trial underscores the high stakes and the intense atmosphere surrounding these proceedings. Intriguing. Question number 2. How would Combs's exclusion from the courtroom impact the trial? Would it be a strategic advantage or disadvantage for either the prosecution or the defense? Following this tense exchange, the focus shifted to the highly anticipated testimony of Jane. She began by describing the initial stages of her relationship with Combs, stating that they met in November 2020 and that she quickly fell deeply in love after they began dating in January 2021. Her testimony painted a picture of romantic trips and frequent drug use, alleging that Combs would provide her with drugs that made her feel relaxed, euphoric, sexual during their intimate encounters. She even testified that she had only used drugs on 2 prior occasions before becoming involved with Combs. Then came the pivotal moment. In May 2021, according to Jane, Combs introduced her to the concept of HotelNights, a term that sent a visible wave of emotion through the courtroom as she paused, lowered her head, and dabbed her eyes with a tissue before recounting the dramatic shift in their relationship. She testified that Combs initially began to frequently discuss fantasies involving her having sex with other men. Then, hours before the first hotel night, while they were already using drugs and being intimate, Combs allegedly broached the topic again, stating, "I can make this fantasy a reality if you would like that to happen." Jane testified that she agreed, stating it was because my partner was excited and it was already happening. What followed was a sequence of events that Jane described in detail, painting a picture of a meticulously arranged encounter in a hotel room with a male escort known as Don. She recounted how she and Don began touching each other while Combs, who was naked, watched and pleasured himself. The encounter allegedly concluded with Don ejaculating on Jane's body, after which she and Combs then had sex. Jane testified that her initial reaction to this experience was one of exhilaration, partly fueled by the feeling of it being taboo. However, she soon realized this wasn't a one-time occurrence. From that night forward, she alleged that another man was involved in her sexual encounters with Combs approximately 90% of the time. Intriguing question. 3. Why did Jane initially feel exhilarated by the first hotel night? What does this initial reaction reveal about the complexities of the alleged dynamic between her and Combs? Jane powerfully stated that this night just completely set the tone for their relationship moving forward, describing it as opening like a Pandora's box. She testified that she went along with these encounters for several months, driven by her deep feelings for Combs and a fear of losing him. Intriguing. Question number 4. What does Jane's continued participation in these hotel nights for several months, despite her eventual frustration, reveal about the alleged power dynamics and the control Combs exerted over her? Day 19 of the Diddy trial has undoubtedly delivered some of the most compelling and disturbing testimony to date. Judge Subramanian's warning underscores the gravity of the proceedings, while Jane's detailed account of the hotel nights provides a chilling glimpse into the allegations at the heart of this case. As her testimony continues, the world will be watching closely to see what further revelations emerge and how they will ultimately impact the fate of Sean Diddy Combs.